All right, guys, this is absolutely crazy. I mean, this blows my mind. It's just ridiculous what actually happened last week in Minneapolis, the city of Minneapolis, okay, where all the protests are going on. Well, what's interesting is the exact very same people that holler about no kings, and authoritarian rule. Well, guess what? The local Minneapolis government is actually doing the same thing to their own people. Remember what happened at those hotels, specifically the Canopy Hilton and the Depot Hotel?
You press or you press? Get back. Stay back. Get back.
Yeah, that. So you got all these people tearing the crap out of these hotels because they're mad because they found out that there were federal ICE agents staying in the hotel. So what do? Well, you tear up the hotel. You break in the windows. You tear down the sign. You basically create complete mass destruction and utter mayhem because you're pissed off that the federal government would dare to come to your city and stay in a hotel so that they could pick up illegals who have criminal records. Now, that's a whole nother topic of discussion. And mainly they were looking for the dangerous ones that whenever they get arrested and they're at the jail, the city of Minneapolis, a lot of y'all don't know this, they would actually say, okay, don't hold these people in the jail. A regular person going to jail, you get locked up. But when you're an illegal, they say, oh, turn them loose, send them back on the street, even if they have, say, assault and battery, murder, the R word, any type of dangerous criminal record. They send them back out on the street. And then the ICE agents have to go hunt them down, which is why so many had to come to Minneapolis in the first place and stay multiple weeks at a time to go chase down these people that the jail was turning back out into the streets. Okay, so I digress. Let's get back to the ridiculous topic at hand here. So you would think that all of those people that tore up those hotels would go to jail. Nope. What does the city decide to do? Well, we're going to punish the hotels instead. Why? Well, because they were not discriminating against their customers by disallowing federal agents to stay in the hotel. I wonder what kind of local ordinance or law or what part of the Constitution, you know how all the radicals love to holler about the Constitution. What part of the Constitution says you can discriminate against federal workers and not allow them to have a good night's sleep in a hotel bed? I don't know. Maybe somebody can point that out in the comments. Tell me about that. Well, so instead of punishing the people that tore up the hotels, what the city decided to do was to hang them out to dry and threaten to deny their liquor licenses. And that's just, I don't know, guys. I can't even fit this in my head. So you had people protesting against the hotels and telling the city, yeah, you need to punish these people for letting the federal agents stay in their hotels. So then the city council was like, all right, well, their liquor licenses are up for renewal. We're going to hold that over their head and possibly deny them since they didn't discriminate against the federal workers. Holy cow. Now, it all worked out because it ended up coming down to a vote, and I think it was 8-5, where they voted that, yeah, we're not going to do something as ridiculous as yanking a liquor license because the hotels failed to abide by federal law and because of the fact that they refused to discriminate against federal workers trying to get a good night's sleep. So they said, yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. But it is interesting that it took them as long as it did. It was like weeks of debate of deciding, are we going to yank the liquor licenses of the hotels that got torn up by the mob? Are we going to yank their licenses because they should have turned away federal ICE agents, because those ICE agents shouldn't be in Minneapolis arresting the illegals that were turned loose from the jail and put back out into the streets? Now, just on that point alone, I don't understand why there's no protest, because if the regular good old U.S. citizens, say, get, put in jail for drunk driving, for assault and battery, or for a bank robbery, or for the R word or something like that, they get to the jail, they go on the slammer. But because you're an illegal, this could be a vote to keep us in power, so don't hold those people, turn them out into the street. Now, what do you think about that? Just turning criminal illegals back into the street. What do you think about that? But anyway, so several of the council members were openly discussing this issue of denying or flat out revoking the liquor licenses as a punitive measure. That was their punishment for their alleged cooperation with ICE. Now, what gets me, here's the kicker. The justification that these city council women and men offered was that the ICE activity was supposedly creating public safety concerns. So the hotels were in the wrong for letting them stay there because the ICE agents were the source of the public safety concerns. Holy smokes. So this move would have effectively punished private businesses for allowing federal law enforcement officers to rent rooms. Man. And again, where's the legal basis for that? Is there some local ordinance that they could back that up or something in the Constitution? I don't know. Maybe so. But it's kind of like, all right, the city of Minneapolis has just gone anarchy mode. Full on anarchy. Even though they disagree with, ICE coming in and snatching and kidnapping, disappearing their illegals that have criminal records, even though they're against that. Isn't it taking a little far to say that it's justified to let citizens tear the crap out of hotels and then shut those hotels down and deny their liquor licenses for saying, hey, who am I to come up against federal law or to discriminate against someone wanting to pay their money and stay in this hotel? I don't know. And like I said before, I'm still a little getting over this cold. Forgive me, please. Like I said, these are the same people who are out there in the streets in the No Kings rallies. Okay. The same ones. All right. These are the same people who accuse the federal government and ICE as being authoritarian because it uses government authority to punish people, right? Okay, for not aligning with their beliefs, which those beliefs are backed up by the Constitution and federal immigration law. But for the local government, well, they can be authoritarian and it's not backed up by anything. That's the irony of the situation. And I just cracked that up to mental illness. I mean, maybe you think that it was a good thing and that, they don't have to have laws and rules or constitutional backing. They don't have to have case law or anything to be authoritarian when they want to, right? When they want to do something as nefarious as punish the hotels who got torn up because they didn't discriminate, right? Well, they can do that, and that's all right. Nobody has a problem with it. I guess to each his own, but that's why you'll never see me ever in the city of Minneapolis again for the foreseeable future. Now, I've been to Minneapolis many times, and I'm going to tell you what, Minneapolis is an S-H-I-T hole country. It is toe up from the floor up, okay? And no offense to anyone who's living there, but I had a reason to go to Minneapolis for several years because there was a certain person that is, nationally known in the family, and we used to support a certain type of event that would take place in Minneapolis. And I remember being shocked and disgusted at how tore up that city is. And I remember once taking the wrong exit off the highway, trying to go somewhere to this event center downtown and getting lost in the hood. Holy mackerel. I remember going to Mall of America and wondering, what's up with all the Somalian people here? Because I hadn't been to Mall of America. It was like 20, 30 years ago, the first time that I went to Mall of America. And then when we were going with the family, it had changed a lot. And I was like, wow, something's different here. But anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts about this. Post it in the comments below. We'll talk about more craziness in the next video because I got a lot of stuff coming your way. I got to get caught up because I missed several days with this stupid bug that I had. It was no fun. So anyway, post now. See ya.